Hello, everybody. The Torah portion of Behaalotcha with some Kabbalah meditation at the end. The Torah portion starts with the menorah. That is the beginning, and Rashi advises one to learn the parts of the menorah. Later on, I'll show you a little bit of that. And ends with Eldad and Medad, the two prophets who were silenced, prophesied in the wrong place and the wrong time. But in the good style of a Mishnah, we will explain Eldad and Medad first, Menorah next. And so Eldad and Medad are very interesting people. They were brothers, sons of El Safan Bar Parnach. That is what Targum Yonatan says. And he adds an amazing thing, that who was the wife? The wife was Yocheved Bat Levi. So that was that same woman who is the mother of Moshe. How does it fit? How could it be? Keep in mind that Amram divorced his wife. So there was a little time when she could get married to somebody else, and we can say she had a fling and she was with El Safan Bar Parnach. But it is still amazing. So do we say that Amram, who was one of the four tzaddikim who died not because of anything that they did wrong, but just because the initial snake got hold of them? So that person, he divorced his wife and then took her back afterwards. She was with another man, but that's a prohibition. So a little bit of an answer is that, first of all, let's see who reincarnated with Eldad and Medad and how they fixed them, and then a bit of more explanation. So in the Chagiga story, there were two boys who were mutes. They couldn't talk. And the Gemara there wants to know, can a mute person learn, being that he cannot participate in the discussion? Can he perfectly learn? So it tells us a story of two mutes that were always going to the Bet Midrash of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, listening, nodding in assent, and Rabbi Yehuda couldn't take it anymore. He prayed for them. They started talking. They got tested by Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, no less, and it turned out they knew everything perfectly well. So the Gemara gets its answer. Yes, a mute person can learn. Now, those two people are not there just as an interesting factor, as a curiosity. They are the reincarnation of Eldad and Medad. Now, let us see what is the connection. Because usually the reincarnation makes sense. It is not just somebody's invention. So first of all, they were mutes. They were born as mutes because Amram, when he divorced his wife, he didn't really mean it. He still loved his wife. He wasn't sure he was doing the right thing. And then later on, Miriam, his daughter, convinced him that he did wrong and he got her back. But still, those two guys, they were born without full permission of Amram. Now, that tells us an interesting thing, is that he was not Machzir Grushato, he was not taking back his divorced wife because he never really divorced her. Now, you go and study a little bit more about how that wasn't adultery, but it wasn't Rabbi Menachem of Fano. That is the source. And then the next interesting fact is that they prophesied. Now, the prophecy works in this way. It is transmitted to absolutely everybody. Everybody with a connection to the channel of prophecy gets it, but only one person is allowed to say it. They were not allowed to say it. Nevertheless, they said it. So that is what they did wrong. And now that they were studying in the merit of the Torah, they did a complete tikkun to this Eldad and Medad. Now, I will put slides out there with the text. You will be able to research this further. Meanwhile, I'll go to the next subject, which honestly is not connected to Eldad and Medad. It's just that they happen to be in the same Torah portion. But here we're talking about menorah. Menorah or the light, and you see that that light has all of the 10 sefirot in it. It starts with the low place where there is a connection between the physical world and the first Sephirah of Malchut, that is rulership. Then this Vav, this is 6. The gematria of Vav is 6. That represents the 6 next Sephirot: Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. And after that, you get into the hottest place in the flame, which is Bina, understanding. Anybody who understands stuff is hot. And then comes the light itself, which radiates out. And one light, as we know, is enough for 100 people. Finally, the whole idea that there's such a thing as light, that represents the highest sephira of Keter, will, crown. And so, if you want to combine yourself with the 10 Sefirot, that is what you can do. That is enough, but there is a bit more in the gematria. The Sefer Yetzirah calls candle Gachelet. Gachelet, and I spelled it out here, the gematria 441. In other words, 3 and 8, 11, and 30, 41, and Tav 400, 441. Emet is the truth, has the same gematria, Aleph 1, Mem 40, Tav 400. That tells us that there is a connection between the 10 Sefirot as represented by the candle and Emet, which is the truth. And the first letter of Emet is Aleph, that's the first letter of the alphabet. The last letter is Tav, the last letter of the alphabet. And where you have the lowest, this is where you have the greatest. This is a paradox, which is also mentioned in the Tao Te Ching, the Chinese book. And what he says there is that under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty only because there is ugliness. So in the end, ugliness transforms itself into beauty and beauty into ugliness. So everybody, please have a very good week, and we'll meet next time.